I never imagined that a seemingly innocuous lawyer's letter would, like a pebble, shatter the thin veneer of hypocrisy that coated the Prospero family. It was a gloomy autumn day, and I sat in my grandfather's magnificent library, the air thick with the scent of old books and cigars. My parents, Victor and Serafina, and my brother, Leon, sat rigidly upright, their postures perfectly sculpted, faces bearing a suitable sorrow. Yet their eyes glinted with anticipation for the substantial inheritance about to be read. My name is Alara, and within the Prospero family, my name was more like an echo. So faint it was almost imperceptible. They were real estate magnates, proprietors of countless concrete jungles across the city, while I, an environmental remediation engineer, was, in my parents' eyes, merely an idealist playing in the mud. Alara, are you sure you wouldn't consider coming back to help the family business? You know, environmental engineering, it doesn't sound very respectable, Mother Serafina would suggest softly at social gatherings, her gaze sweeping over my always inexpensive attire with a barely concealed disdain. Leon has shown keen business acumen since childhood. He is the future of the family. Father Victor would casually lavish all praise on Leon at family gatherings, while I remained transparent as air beside them. Leon, my brother, was the golden child from birth. Everything came effortlessly to him. He was accustomed to being doted upon, surrounded by adulation. His pride as unreserved as a peacock's display. I can't count how many times when I excitedly shared how my environmental projects had reclaimed a polluted wetland. My parents' response was merely a perfunctory nod or a swift change of topic to Leon's impending acquisition of a new golf course. Their values, like an iceberg, were vast and cold, utterly disregarding my deepest desires for integrity and nature. This wasn't resentment. It was a profound sadness. My childhood was solitary. Leon's birthday parties were always the family's focal point, while I often hid alone in the depths of the garden, finding companionship in soil and insects. The only one who offered me warmth was old John, our family's longtime butler. He would discreetly hand me a freshly baked cookie when my parents overlooked me, or share anecdotes about my grandfather's youthful passion for nature. He once told me that my grandfather, too, had cherished nature in his youth, before being consumed by the tides of commerce. After graduating from university, I resolutely declined all conveniences offered by the family, including their funding for me to attend a prestigious business school. I chose the most arduous path, founding my own environmental remediation company. For the initial years, I worked in remote, challenging mining sites and polluted zones, often living in makeshift tents, pulling all-nighters with laborers, battling toxins and harsh weather. My hands were often stained with dirt, my face frequently etched with fatigue. Yet my heart swelled with an unprecedented sense of fulfillment. I deliberately kept my true circumstances hidden from my family, letting them believe I was still working for a small, obscure environmental organization. Meanwhile, the Prospero family maintained its glittering facade, but internal crises were brewing. Victor indulged in high-risk investments, repeatedly losing vast sums at the gambling tables, while Leon squandered money lavishly, merely maintaining the appearance of running the family business. I heard these rumors from old John, who, even after I left home, secretly watched over me, gradually becoming my eyes and ears. He informed me that several of the family's real estate projects had cut corners on environmental assessments to save costs, leaving hidden liabilities. That lawyer's letter concerned my grandfather's will. As the lawyer's resonant voice echoed in the library, my heart beat a little faster. My grandfather had passed away suddenly. But during his lifetime, he had been the family's patriarch. Given the contributions of my eldest grandson, Leon Prospero, to the family business, he shall inherit 10% of the family company's shares, along with 3 properties in the city center. The lawyer paused, and a smug smile spread across Leon's face. My parents nodded with satisfaction. However, in light of my granddaughter Alara Prospero's unique talents and foresight for the future world, I bequeath the remaining 90% of the family company's shares, as well as all my overseas financial assets, to Alara Prospero. A sudden, deafening silence fell upon the library. Leon's smile froze, and my parents' expression solidified, as if a pause button had been pressed. They stared at me in disbelief, their eyes filled with shock, envy, and a hint of awe I had never seen before. Wait, this is impossible. Serafina shrieked. Alara, her? A child who spends all her time playing in the mud? This will must be fake. Victor also sprang to his feet, his face ashen. Father must have been bewitched by Alara. What vile tricks did she use? The lawyer cleared his throat. The will has undergone the strictest notarization and authentication. It is entirely legal and valid. However, there is an additional condition. He looked at me. Miss Alara, you must take over the Prospero family's real estate company, which is currently in distress, and turn it profitable within 1 year. Otherwise, all assets will automatically transfer to Mr. Leon Prospero. Leon instantly regained his swagger. He laughed. Ha! I knew it. How could father possibly favor her? She knows nothing about business. 1 year? She can't even manage a small environmental organization, and she thinks she can save the Prospero Group? What a joke. Alara, just give up obediently. Don't dream impossible dreams. My parents echoed his sentiments, their faces once again displaying that familiar disdain and condescension, seemingly convinced that I could never fulfill the task. They believed I would undoubtedly fail, and the inheritance would eventually return to their hands. What they didn't know, however, was that I had been preparing for this moment for far too long. That evening, I met with Lillian, my university friend and business partner. We sat in a modest cafe, and she listened as I recounted the contents of the will, her eyes gleaming with excitement. Lillian was my most loyal friend. She had believed in my dream from the very beginning, enduring with me the arduous journey of building our company from scratch to a valuation of hundreds of millions. They think you're useless, Alara, Lillian said with a smile. They have no idea what you've accomplished all these years. Our Spark environmental remediation company is now a leader in the industry, with even international organizations actively seeking our collaboration. It's time to show them what respectable truly means. I nodded, a cold glint in my eyes. Over the years, I had not only focused on my company as technological development, but had also secretly monitored the Prospero family as movements. Old John provided me with invaluable inside information, including Victor's secret gambling ledgers, Leon's records of misappropriating company funds, and those concealed environmental assessment reports. Lillian, leveraging her professional skills, had meticulously collected and organized all this evidence behind the scenes. Everything is ready, I whispered. Let's activate the plan now. Over the next few months, as the new CEO of the Prospero Group, I publicly took over the struggling real estate company. Family members scoffed and ridiculed me, and Leon constantly put obstacles in my path, attempting to thwart my actions. They believed I was merely making a dying struggle. Alara, are you planning to conjure money with your environmental magic? Leon scoffed at a board meeting, eliciting laughter from some older directors. I ignored him, calmly reviewing financial reports, one after another, and secretly dispatched my team to conduct detailed secondary environmental assessments of all properties under the family S name. The results, as expected, showed severe environmental violations in many projects, especially an abandoned industrial site on the city's outskirts. The family had dismissed it as having no development value, concealing the fact that it was severely polluted. This plot, though heavily contaminated, would become a crucial link between the city's old and new districts once remediated, possessing immense development potential. I secretly utilized Spark company funds through multiple proxy companies to quietly acquire a massive amount of the Prospero Group's debt. Simultaneously, my legal team began engaging with international environmental organizations, preparing to file a joint lawsuit regarding the family's environmental violations. With 1 month left until the 1-year deadline stipulated by my grandfather's will, Victor and Leon abruptly called a family board meeting, attempting to remove me from my CEO position on grounds of mismanagement. Alara is utterly incapable of leading the company out of its difficulties. Leon passionately argued, "We cannot entrust the family's future to someone who knows nothing about business and only engages in these green theatrics." At the board meeting, my parents echoed his sentiments, disparaging me at every turn. A sharp pain pierced my heart, but it was quickly replaced by resolute determination. I was no longer the little girl desperate for their approval. I calmly walked to the podium. The boardroom was filled with family members and company directors, all eager to see me fail. "Ladies and gentlemen," I began, my voice quiet, yet every word was clear. "I am not here today to defend myself, but to reveal the truth." I turned on the projector, and the first slide on the screen displayed the logo of my company, Spark. Following it was a startling array of data charts, the significant environmental remediation projects my company had successfully completed worldwide in recent years, and Spark Company's valuation reaching hundreds of millions. A murmur of astonishment rippled through the room. This is impossible." Leon stammered, You have your own company." "Yes, Leon," I looked at him, my eyes cold. "A company you considered playing green theatrics." Next, I played an audio recording. It was a conversation between my father, Victor, and an underground moneylender, in which he personally admitted to instructing the finance department to falsify accounts, to cover gambling losses, and conceal the family company's deteriorating financial situation. The recording also contained evidence of Leon embezzling company funds to purchase luxury items for himself. Victor and Serafina's faces instantly turned chalk white, and Leon was trembling uncontrollably. This is fabricated." Serafina tried to retort. "I apologize, Mother," I said calmly. "This recording has been submitted to the police and financial regulatory authorities and has been professionally authenticated. Additionally, here is a financial report for the Prospero Group issued by an independent auditing firm." On the screen, shocking deficits and massive debts ruthlessly exposed the true state of the Prospero Group to everyone present. Now, I would like to announce a second piece of news. I clicked the projector again, and the screen displayed numerous legal documents and bank transfer records. The Prospero Group's largest creditor is currently Spark Environmental Remediation Company. In other words, I now hold absolute control over the Prospero Group. A collective gasp swept through the boardroom. Everyone was dumbfounded. Finally, I continued, my tone tinged with gravity. After conducting a thorough environmental assessment of all Prospero Group properties, we discovered that the industrial polluted site on the city's outskirts, which the family declared worthless, will, after our professional remediation, become the core of an ecological new city connecting the old and new areas of the city. I have already developed a detailed remediation and development plan for this. I presented before and after images of the land, from a barren, polluted zone to a vibrant, verdant future ecological park and commercial district. My voice resonated through the boardroom with undeniable power. Just then, the boardroom door swung open, and several police officers and environmental enforcement agents in uniform entered. They held search warrants and headed directly for Victor and Leon. My lawyer followed, handing me a document. Miss Alara, this is your grandfather's diary, the lawyer whispered. He mentioned in his will that only when you truly understood him would you comprehend why he entrusted the family to you. I took the diary and opened the first page. On the yellowed paper, my grandfather's youthful, hurried handwriting read, I once dreamed of building cities in harmony with nature. But ultimately, I was blinded by profit. I hope that among my descendants, someone will rediscover this original intention. Tears blurred my vision. I finally understood my grandfather's profound meaning. He had not been bewitched by me, rather, through his will, he had given me an opportunity, and the Prospero family a chance at redemption. In the end, Victor and Leon were arrested for financial fraud and embezzlement, and the family's reputation plummeted. Under my control, the Prospero family's business empire began a complete transformation. I integrated Spark's environmental technology into all projects and committed to building a truly sustainable and green real estate group. I succeeded. I fulfilled my grandfather's wish and proved my worth. However, I didn't feel the euphoria I had imagined. Watching my parents being led away and Leon's desperate gaze, there was only a bitter calm within me. Some wounds can never fully heal, and some reconciliations are not always possible or necessary. I was no longer the little girl, longing for my parents' approval. I had learned to affirm my self-worth from within and had created a life for myself that aligned with my values. Lillian, Old John, and my team were my true family. They had demonstrated love and support through their actions, not through blood ties. I will still walk in the dirt, for that is my battleground and my kingdom. But this time, I am no longer the forgotten girl. I am the Prospero family's rebuilder, a leader fighting for the future. I stand in my new world, take a deep breath, and feel the wind on my face, knowing that a new beginning awaits me.